You can kind of see in the background around me. We are downtown Lilyholmen right now, and I just finished a big event. And these events for me are really about building friendships and connecting with people that I've connected with online, and deepening that connection through taking kind of like, I don't know if it's like a friendship date almost, where we go off together alone for a while, for a half hour, 45 minutes, with hopefully with no one else around, and just get to know who that other person is, and connect, and look at hear their story and what's going on with them right then, and their life, right? It's so easy to get caught up when you're around thousands of people like I am, and a lot of you, because a lot of you are my friends. And if we're straightforward, most of the people watching this are going to be people that have met me through some big event, and that also do them fairly regularly. And but that this applies to conferences and day-to-day life also, and that is the concept of fewer, deeper connections per period of time, whatever period of that time it is, rather than a whole bunch of shallow ones. Uh, I remember, I'll never forget, I did a lot of conferences back in the day when I had a pretty good sized marketing agency, and we do all these like Martech, and there was a thing called SES, and then CES, obviously. And we'd go to these conferences, we have a booth, and then a lot of the sales guys would be collecting all of these business cards of everybody. They'd have these real short conversations and collect their business card, and then they'd be like, I got all these business cards, I've got all these connections, I'm going to get all these deals out of this, I'm going to make all this money. And what they found invariably afterwards is the only ones that even remembered them, if there were any, were ones that they had a deep conversation with and made a connection and met at lunch instead of at the booth. And so what I did is fairly early on, I noticed that, and I started challenging them to find the 5 to 10 best prospects they could get, and have multiple conversations with them, and not make it about business at first. Make it about each other and fun, and what's going on with the conference for them, and just that process of getting to know somebody, rather than looking at them as uh, a potential client or business arrangement or money, for that matter, right? Because if you're a salesperson, a lot of times you might be looking at the new people you meet as an income source. Well, as you know, nobody wants to be looked at as an income source, and that really transformed things, because and it wasn't instant, right? I had to do that, and push them toward that, you know, deeper conversations by testing them how much they knew about each person that they got a business card from. I'm like, we'll just give away an iPad. I think, oh, that's what we gave away at first, to get all these business cards, because that was fine, right? We had all this contact information for people that were, not that much better than a DMB record that we could get for 50 cents or 40 cents. And then we had these other people that knew us, and those folks turned into deals. They turned into clients, and longtime clients. And that is where the magic is with anything we do, right? Is to go somewhere and make a friend for life, or make a connection. Maybe it's not even a big friend, maybe it's a business connection, but one that's going to last. And that requires time. There's no substitute for it. You can't just you can't cast this giant net and hope that you're going to net people that you trust and that trust you. Trust is built over mutual understanding of each other. And so that's kind of what was part of my process this weekend. Is I gave thousands of hugs probably, but maybe 30 hours out of 150 were with one-on-one with somebody. And it was like 2 hours each. So I have 14 or 15 people that I really know now and really know me. And I challenge you in that same kind of scenario to try to make a few way deeper connections. And I think what you'll find is that it'll be much more fulfilling for you and for those friends. And side story, when I was talking about the conferences, I would have salespeople and they would come back. So now I'm going to a different loop. So sorry. When we'd go to conferences, even when we had long, deep conversations with people, and they thought, okay, this is for sure, this is for sure going to be a client, and I would be talking to them and going, okay, sure, yeah, okay, maybe so, I hope so, and what I would say is, well, why don't you call them right now? And a lot of times they did, because I had, I don't know, 15 salespeople at the time at that company, and a lot of other different people working for me, and so they would call them. About a quarter of the time, they wouldn't even remember them at first. And they'd had an hour conversation because they'd had so many conversations. And we get caught up in this, like almost like endorphin rush, right? Where it's like this person and that person and this person and that person. And that's why in that call, I actually made a rule, I guess you could call it, where anybody they talked to that they believed could be a client, they needed to call before the end of the day at the last conference and try to the last day of the conference and try to reconnect with them in some way, shape, or form. It was just say what's up. Remember, we're on to talk on this day or something, and then on the way back from the conference to send them another message. So in other words, to stay connected like they were there still. That was absolute magic. That five-folded our actual business close rate out of the conferences. And that applies to friends too. I've got 5 or 10 people that within the next 2 days, I will be messaging you if you don't message me first, and you know who you are. So uh, I want to continue the conversation. And no, it's not about business. It's about long-term friendship. So let's go. And if you found this useful, or if you know anybody that that could find it useful, share it. And the other thing is, if you think that this content could help people, like it, comment on it, so Facebook knows that it's useful content that other people could use, because that's the only way they know is your engagement with it. So until tomorrow, have a great day, and peace. Bye.